Let's get more analysis on this exponential growth. I'm joined by Saruhan Hatipoglu. He's CEO of BERI, the Business Environment Risk Intelligence Group, and a CGTN Global Economics Analyst. Thank you so much for joining us.
Elaine.
So the number of countries wanting to get in has increased. We're now at 70. What do you make of the growth of this bank? Could we see more members?
Absolutely. I think we're going to see steadily increasing membership at this bank because it is popular. There's the approach from AIIB is very different than the approach from the IMF, and developing countries do like that. We are seeing this has started with 57 founding members, and the U.S. allies that we talked about are coming in to the picture as well. So eventually we're going to see 90, 100, and the members will be increasing steadily.
No country left behind. I want to touch on that. Those are the words of the bank president, Jin Lichun. Developing countries are major shareholders and have more say in the AIIB. Do you think that is the attraction, the main attraction here?
Absolutely. At least 75% of the reserve shares are members, and they will be able to have a say in this. These member countries will not be able to do it in IMF. They're also, bidding projects are open for everybody. It's not only regional countries, it's non-regional countries as well. When you look at other institutions like the Asian Development Bank, for example, this is not the case. So yes, the attractiveness from the developing country side is exactly this. We have more say now, and we will be able to control our destiny in these infrastructure projects.
Let's look at some of the new members. Afghanistan, Venezuela, they have not been the most stable economically. And now, what are they expecting from the AIIB? And are you surprised that they were given membership?
I'm not surprised, because in Afghanistan's case, there was a meeting last year with the AIIB head delegation, and the Afghan government sat down and talked about the possibility of Afghanistan joining to the AIIB. They discussed a project there, a huge railway project between China, Iran, Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan in that area. So I'm not surprised about Afghanistan being in. Venezuela is a different case. Venezuela is, I think it's fair to say that it is a failed state, unfortunately, but the admission to AIIB it brings some kind of hope for the country, because there'll be access or facilitation to finance, as well as technical know-how that will be coming in or brought in for Venezuela as well. So it was surprising, but I think this is the idea of the organization. This is the direction that they want to go, and I think there'll be more countries like this in the near future.
We've been talking about all these U.S. allies in Europe. Canada now, are part of the AIIB. When you look at the new Trump administration and the protectionist stance that it has, what does this say for the outlook of the United States and the AIIB?
Well,
do you think we could see it become a member?
I think we will. With President Obama, the approach to China was, in my opinion, a failed approach. The AIIB was viewed as an institution to advance China's interests, economic, political interests in the region. But the membership shows that the allies now coming in there show clearly that this is not the case. President Trump is a businessman, and at the end of the day, this comes to business. Can we get American businesses into these infrastructure projects? By the way, it's AIIB who's forecasting that the need is $25 trillion by 2030. $25 trillion, that's a lot of infrastructure projects in general. So yes, the U.S., in my opinion, at some point will, if not a member, definitely a consultant, but eventually a member to the AIIB. I can see that happening.
There's no way it does not want to be left out of this picture.
All the allies are going in. It doesn't want to be isolated, definitely not.
So we are a little more than a year now since the bank opened. Your thoughts on what has happened over the last year and what's ahead?
I like it because this is cautious lending. It's $1.7 billion in projects that was spent, so they didn't just jump on every project that they wanted to finance, and they could. It's $100 billion capital, right? So that's a good thing. I think they are being very selective on the projects, and the good news for me when I look at it is that they're co-financing these projects with international institutions such as AIIB and World Bank. So this belief that China is creating this bank just to advance its objectives and it wants to get rid of the Western financial architecture, I don't think is the case, because 6 out of 9 projects right now are co-financed by AIIB and World Bank. We're going to see more infrastructure spending very, very shortly.
All right, Saruhan, thank you so much for your insight. We appreciate it as always.
Pleasure.